So we're good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So which way does the... I know we're recording. That's why I'm playing with the hat. Um, do I look like a total dork with a hat on backwards?
Yep.
I do? Okay. Alright, so today we're going to talk about the coronavirus. And the title of this is, the latest breaking news on the coronavirus. This is breaking news. This is breaking news because with this particular video, you're going to get the truth about the coronavirus. How's that sound? You are going to get the truth about the coronavirus. So what's the truth, Bob? What's going on? What's the truth? Okay, first of all, the coronavirus, in the last, 10 to 15 years, I do believe, we have had SARS, which is the, what is it? What is it again, Rich? The severe something respiratory syndrome. Yeah, severe something respiratory syndrome. That was the one that started, the other one that started in China. Then there was MERS, but MERS is a Middle Eastern respiratory syndrome. So, the facts about the coronavirus as compared to SARS right now, there is no comparison. What is happening with the coronavirus is media hype, governments around the world, because they're trying to sell antidote for this stuff. Of the 15 cases the United States has had, all but like 5 of them are home now. People who tested positive for this stuff. There's totally a way to treat it. And I think I heard on the radio today that 8,000 people who have had tested positive for the coronavirus, what a whopping 700 people have died. Okay, let me do the math for you. Okay, over 8,000 people have had it. Okay? And then it's like under 700 people have died from it. Do you know what that means? That means that most people haven't died from it. What you're seeing in the media is, and this is where the fake news comes into play. This is where their subjective reporting comes into play. They will tell you all the Grim Reaper news about it, but yet they won't tell you about the fact that like 98% of the people who've had this disease, this virus so far, have survived. Have had it, or probably even halfway into it and survived. Because see, when you know you have it, when you think you might have it, you do this thing called go to the hospital. You don't sit home, act like it's nothing. You don't say, okay, I'll push through this like I push through anything else. The key is that when you know there's an outbreak of something like this, what you do is you say, okay, well, I've had the flu in the past, so in the past, without this news, I could just push through it. I do it all the time. But what if I was to get sick now? Once the news comes out and there's no vaccine for it, you say, okay, I've had it in the past, I pushed through it, but with the news, what do? I go and turn myself into a doctor to get tested. That's it. Okay? So, what the news isn't saying, and they aren't saying on purpose, and what these government agencies around the world aren't saying on purpose, because they want to sell you antidote, is they want to make it sound like, oh my God, you're going to get this tomorrow, it's out of control, and we're all going to die. Am I right, Rich?
Yeah.
Okay? So, let me ask you this question. Would you care? Would you care if all along the news had been saying, okay, this is how many cases that we've had tested positive, And this is how many people have died. But this is how many people have lived. Would you be scared? Probably not. So why are you scared? Because you're listening to liberals who do nothing but lie all the time, every day about everything to raise money. They are trying to scare the piss out of you so that you will go out and get their antidote. And guess how much that costs? I'll bet you any amount of money, the treatment that the people have survived is expensive. I'll bet you it costs to go to the doctor, get yourself checked. How do they create hysteria? The hysteria is about getting people to come in and test, because the test is expensive. It's all about the money. I'm here to tell you that at this particular point in time, the coronavirus is absolutely nothing. Because SARS, what was that? The severe acute, was that what it was? Severe acute respiratory syndrome. It started in China. Because nothing good ever comes, well, no, I'll say this. Nothing good ever comes from the communist Chinese government. Okay. The people of China are wonderful people. China, under communist rule, do you know something? Because we want to be so much like them. Because all these liberals want to be so much like China. You know that? If you get caught with a Bible in China in public, you'll be arrested. Because the government in China is so wonderful. Right? Let me ask you this question. You know what you call it when somebody from China gets on a plane and comes to America? What do you call it, Rich?
The trip.
You call it defecting. Nobody from the United States goes to China to live except unless you're a missionary. Let me tell you this. The only time China was on the right side of anything was when they were invaded by the Japanese in World War II. And they made the right decision. They actually forsook part of their land because they knew they couldn't defend it with their small military. So they hunkered back, kind of like the United States did in the Battle of Bulge. They started out with a wider perimeter, but they shrunk back because they figured having less ground to cover and more fire concentration, they would have a better chance of standing up to the Nazis. Okay, so they shrunk back, and that's what ultimately saved them. However, do you know who fought with the North Koreans in the Korean War? China. Do you know who fought, and they fought against the United States, by the way. Do you know who fought with the Viet Cong in Vietnam against freedom in Vietnam? China. You know who has screwed every country in the world until so-and-so came along with their unfair trade deals and the manipulation of their money and making money hand over fist off everybody else while they monopolized everything? China. The Chinese government, the communist Chinese government, is a bunch of rotten, no-good apples. That's what they are. They engineered the coronavirus. They spread all this propaganda and hype about it. And guess what now? The roosters are coming home to roost because their economy is going into the tank, and rightfully so. Shame on you. Not the people of China, but the crooked, no-good, communist Chinese government. And you know what I think? I think the people of China should rise up against the Chinese government. Have a nice little revolution like we had here in America 250 years ago. Man up. Man up. It's okay if you come to the United States. That's fine. But when are the Chinese people going to rise up and overthrow this godless, good-for-nothing government in China?
They are.
No, they're not. They want to. But it takes something called courage to do that. But anyway, I digress. So, 2% of all people who have had the coronavirus have died. 2%! Is that something to be afraid of? No, it isn't. So whenever you listen to the news, listen to what they're not telling you. There is no reason to walk around in the United States with a mask over your face. And everybody who has received treatment for this virus has survived as long as they got it by a certain time. Elderly people and young people have died. People in the middle have died because they didn't take it serious or they didn't know what it was. In a lot of cases, you can't really take the first 2 weeks of an outbreak seriously, statistically speaking, because you have to realize people get caught off guard. So what has happened since then? Well, you see, the president said the other day that the cases and the outbreak have gone down drastically in China in the last week, and the vast majority of people who have had it have survived it. I'm just saying. Okay? But if you did feel so inclined to get yourself a mask, I know for a fact that the Fast Med in your area, whatever the minute clinic, hour clinic, the one that charges you $120 to be seen, you can actually go in there for free and get yourself a mask, as many as you like, or as many as they're willing to give you. But you can go in there and get yourself a mask if you want to. I am not chiding people. I think this is very serious. But what's even more serious is this video, and that you need to see it, watch it, and share it with everybody that you know. Okay? We researched this, and I'm telling you, 2% of all the people who have had the coronavirus have died from it. 2%. SARS was 35%. This is nothing compared to SARS. In MERS, the Middle Eastern deal, MERS is still going on today, but it is a rare virus. It only strikes like 1 in 10,000 people or something like that. When you get MERS, it's like, it's so hard. You got to live in a certain place with a certain climate, and only one person every once in a while gets MERS. And they have a way to treat it now, too. So, MERS is in one category. SARS is in another. Corona is over here, way down the road. And I think even Ebola is worse than Corona. But Ebola wasn't as bad as SARS. And Ebola didn't wipe out the world population. So, all I'm saying is, to all the people out there, I know I'm a smart aleck. I know I'm overbearing. I know I'm arrogant when it comes to my videos. But you ask yourself the question, am I not entertaining? Of course I am. But do you not get something really good when you watch one of my videos? Of course you do, because I care. And I don't want people walking around thinking that they better kiss their wife and tell their kids that they love them every day because they're so scared of getting this illness when it's nothing. Okay? So I hope this video makes you feel better. Okay? And I hope you pass it along to your friends and share it with your